A training ground. Dust, sweat, the echo of rifles, laughter, mockery. A cocky Marine points at a skinny girl with tied-back brown hair and says, "Let her try, just for fun." She doesn't flinch. She doesn't smile. She just walks forward, loads a single bullet, hand engraved with the words, "For the one that matters," and fires. 3 seconds later, target down, center mass, perfect bullseye. The entire field falls silent. An instructor stands up, voice trembling. That shot, only Ghost 7 ever made it. And in that moment, the world realizes, this girl isn't just a recruit. She's the keeper of a legend. She's the last living link to a sniper who died in silence. And today, she's finally keeping a promise made 5 years ago, on a battlefield soaked in blood. This is the story of Isolde Reinhardt, 27 years old. German-Austrian descent, lean build, cold eyes, long brown hair always pulled back. She walks like a ghost, quiet, unnoticed, always watching. She speaks only when necessary. She never shows off. She never brags. And no one has ever seen her shoot. Not until that day. At the Advanced Sniper Training Facility, Isolde was a mystery. Her file, barely a page. Previous assignments, classified or missing. No record of sniper training. No elite schools. Nothing. Yet here she was, transferred in without explanation. The other trainees didn't respect her. They mocked her. Marcus, a former Marine with a loud laugh and a bigger ego, sneered, "Are you sure you didn't register for the cooking class by mistake?" Another added, "That rifle will break your collarbone. Maybe start with a BB gun." They laughed. She didn't. While others used laser rangefinders, digital wind meters, and ballistic computers, Isolde carried a red thread tied to a wooden stick. She'd hold it up, watch the wind, and make calculations in her head. When someone asked why, she simply said, "Equipment can malfunction. Wind doesn't know how to lie." They rolled their eyes, called her crazy, primitive. But they didn't know. She wasn't just using old methods. She was using his methods. One afternoon during an ultra-long-range exercise, 2.5 kilometers, conditions brutal, crosswinds at 12 knots, terrain distorting air currents, the trainees turned it into a game. Who can hit closest to the bullseye? One by one they fired, misses, near hits, nothing close. Even Marcus, after a decent shot, grinned and called out, "Hey, Isolde, why don't you try last? Just for entertainment." Laughter erupted. The idea of her, small, silent, using a thread, out shooting trained soldiers, absurd. But Isolde looked up, not angry, not embarrassed, just thoughtful. In her gear bag, beneath cleaning tools, lay a single bullet. Not standard issue, hand engraved, "For the one that matters." She had carried it for 5 years, never used it. Because it wasn't just ammunition. It was a vow, a memory, a final gift from a dying man. She reached in, pulled it out, loaded it. The others noticed, but they didn't understand. To them, it was just drama. To her, it was justice. She stepped to the line, carrying an old M2010 rifle. No modern stabilizers, no recoil compensation. While others relied on tech, she had only her thread, her mind, and muscle memory. She knelt, extended the red thread, watched it dance in the wind for nearly 2 minutes, studied patterns no machine could catch, adjusted her scope, calculated in silence, breathing slowed, heart steady, 1 breath, 2 breaths, perfect stillness, crack. The rifle fired. 3 seconds later, the electronic board lit up. Target down, center mass, bullseye, silence, then whispers, "That's impossible." Master Sergeant Rodriguez, a 30-year veteran, walked slowly to the scoring station. He stared at the data, then looked at Isolde. His voice cracked. "That's a reverse angle wind compensation shot. Grade 4, differential. Only one person ever made that shot consistently." He paused. Ghost 7. Staff Sergeant Chen approached. Ghost 7 was KIA 5 years ago. Classified, body never recovered. His techniques died with him, but Rodriguez turned to Isolda. Where did you learn to shoot like this? She cleaned her rifle, not looking up. I once saw it performed by Ghost 7 himself. The words hit like a bomb. That night, Rodriguez dug into her past. No sniper training, but deployment records showed her as medical personnel in Western Asia. 2019. Operation Silent Thunder. A classified mission. A trap. The Kraken unit was ambushed. Ghost 7, David Chen, held off enemy waves for 47 minutes. Then a mortar hit. Shrapnel. Blood. Death. And that's when Isolda found him. Not as a sniper, not as a soldier, but as a medic who made a choice. She stabilized him, knew he was dying. So she asked, teach me. Show me how you make those shots. In his final minutes, he did. Positions, calculations, wind reading, breathing. He gave her his hand-drawn notebook, filled with diagrams, no words, and one bullet. For the one that matters. Keep these techniques alive, he whispered. Use them when lives depend on it. Then enemy voices came closer. She had to leave. She took his rifle, his notebook, his promise. Officially, Ghost 7 died that day. Unofficially, his legacy walked out, in the hands of a woman who said nothing. For 5 years, Isolda practiced in silence. She never wanted fame, never wanted recognition. She just wanted to honor a man who saved lives, even as he bled out alone. Until that day, when arrogant trainees laughed at her, when they treated sniping like a game, when they disrespected the very craft that had kept soldiers alive. That's when she fired the bullet, not to prove herself, but to prove he wasn't forgotten. Rodriguez uncovered the truth, and instead of handing her over to military intelligence, he lied, said she was transferred, gone, because some knowledge shouldn't be locked in files, some legacies should be passed on, not buried. The next morning, he recommended her not as a trainee, but as an instructor for the elite sniper program to teach techniques that officially don't exist. At the Medal of Honor ceremony for David Chen, posthumously awarded, Isolda stood in uniform, unrecognized, unseen, but present. His family received the medal, his parents, his sister, his fiancée. They didn't know. The woman standing there was the reason their son's name wasn't lost. Afterward, Rodriguez asked, "Will you lead the new sniper school?" She said, "I'll teach, but not in uniforms, not in ceremonies, not for glory. I'll teach the way he would have wanted. Small groups, serious students, people who understand we shoot to bring others home alive." 6 months later, the school began. No name, no budget, no oversight, just a quiet woman, a remote facility, and a legacy. Students learned wind reading with thread, not gadgets, mental math, not computers, purpose over precision, life over kill count. Each received David Chen's notebook. Each learned about Ghost 7. Each carried his techniques into real missions and credited the source. Every year on the anniversary of Operation Silent Thunder, Isolda visits the National Military Cemetery. She places a wreath at the Unknown Soldier Memorial, says nothing, stays a few minutes, leaves. But veterans notice her. Families sense something. Word spreads, quietly, of a woman who teaches what can't be taught. 3 years later, a young man approaches. "I'm Michael, David Chen's younger brother. I've been looking for you." He hands her a compass, their father's gift to David. "He would have wanted you to have this, for finding true direction when everything else points the wrong way." Isolda holds it, finally says, "Your brother taught me more in his last minutes than most learn in a lifetime. I teach his skills because he asked me to, but I honor him because he deserved better than silence." Isolda never wanted fame. She didn't fire that shot to impress. She fired it to say, "You were not forgotten." She carries a rifle not to become a legend, but to ensure a true legend never dies. And if you've ever continued someone's work after they were gone, carried forward wisdom from a teacher who never got credit, lived by a promise made in silence, then this is your story too. Because real legacy isn't about statues. It's about skills that survive sacrifice. It's about knowledge passed in dying breaths. It's about honoring not with words, but with action. Ghost 7 may be gone, but his shot lives on. Through her and somewhere. Another student is learning. Another life will be saved. Because one quiet woman kept a promise. If this story moved you, if you believe in silent heroes, forgotten legends and promises, leave a comment. Subscribe to Beyond True Stories. We tell the stories that shouldn't be forgotten because real stories are made by real people, not machines.